Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Weather and Water training video. My name is Karen Zeminski, and we're actually nearing the end of this kit. Investigation 9 is the last investigation for weather and water, and during this video I'm going to talk to you about both investigations 8 and 9. Investigation 8, air pressure and wind. By now, my students generally understand the idea of air pressure based on previous activities we did, mainly because of the syringe and foam cube activity. But overall, the objective for this unit is for students to see the correlation between air pressure and wind. There are 4 parts to this investigation, and the first part is actually my favorite. Students will make their own pressure indicators and link pressure to density. I like to remind my students of the syringe and the foam cube during this lesson as well, by going back to the Fosweb demonstration with the animation of gas in a syringe where you can compress the air. There's also a picture of it for transparency. And sometimes I just keep one of the syringes with the foam cube inside of it hanging around in the classroom so I can pick that up to demonstrate with as well. Students will also complete the pressure in a jar worksheet during the activity, but then in order for them to synthesize and for me to see where their thinking is going, I like them to do this response sheet for air pressure and wind as sort of a mini assessment. It gives me a really good idea of where the students are. Also, don't forget about the student resource book reading. It's called What is Air Pressure? And it really helps to drive home some of these concepts as well as the ideas that are presented. Part 2 is a chance for your students to be creative and to make a group poster that shows a model of atmospheric winds. This activity has a reading in the student resource book called Where the Wild Wind Blows and a Fosweb connection called Local Winds. In Part 3, students will build their own anemometers. Then they'll go outside and measure different areas of the school using the anemometers that they built. Part 4 will allow students to analyze and complete a pressure chart in order to demonstrate what they've learned. I also like to find current online pressure charts to show my classes and focus in really on our region. It also helps to pre-teach the vocabulary as well, since the terms isobar interval or isobar or interval even separately are pretty tricky for a lot of my ELL students to pronounce and for most of the kids to kind of grasp the concept of. There's a nice extension activity that I like to assign if I get to this point either during Christmas break or right before April break. And it's a good little extra credit assignment that kids can do independently. Investigation 9, Weather and Climate. In this investigation, students are actually going to learn about air masses and climate change, and they're going to focus in on weather maps a little more. Prior to this unit, I suggest that you familiarize yourself with fronts, warm fronts, cold fronts, and occluded fronts. These are the basic foundations of what you're going to be teaching in this lesson. And for me, this was the most difficult part, was that I didn't know to review this ahead of time. When you're using a solar balloon, be prepared for all of the kids to want to give it a try. I like to pick names from a hat just to keep it fair. Part 2 is largely teacher guided, and it's mostly a discussion that will teach the students what happens when air masses collide. Use the Fosweb to help you and navigate from the control room. You're going to go to Weather and Landforms, and I have this clicked on Tornado Alley, but you can move your mouse around up here and it will highlight different areas of the United States. My students like the visual support that they get from these animations. And there's also a severe weather reading that I like to assign either as extra credit or homework, or if I'm absent, it's good sub work to leave as well because the kids really enjoy it. In Part 3, students will make the correlation between weather and the water cycle, and then they'll start determining the influences they have on one another. During this lesson, they'll also differentiate between weather and climate. There's a section on Fosweb for climate regions, that will guide this discussion, and a follow-up reading in the student resource book as well, called Is the Earth Getting Warmer? The conclusion of this kit is around the topic of global warming and its impact on our everyday lives and the future of our world. Due to the broad nature of this topic and the immense amount of issues that are associated with it, I like to kind of go off script here and provide all of the groups with a little bit of different information and have them try and engage in a debate about the topics. There's no wrong way to introduce global warming, but it's something that the kids recognize as truly affecting our future, and it's a great way to engage all of the kids. And that's all for the Weather and Water Kit Training video. I'm Karen Zeminski, and I hope you feel prepared to teach 6th grade science. Thanks for watching.